Hey friends, what's up? Phillip here with Points with Phillip, and I have one question. Is the Ritz Carlton credit card worth it? Let's get into it. But before we do, please go ahead and like and subscribe and go ahead and hit that bell icon as well so you can stay up to date with everything that we are doing here at the channel. We're having a lot of fun with learning about points and miles with American Express and Chase and everybody, and I want you guys to come along too. But now that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get into whether or not the Ritz Carlton card is worth it. Top lines. Let's take a look. So why would we want it? So first of all, it has pretty much goated lounge access, and we'll get into that later as well. There's also a global entry or TSA pre-check credit as well. And if you're someone who has used that in the past, it's really helpful. There's also really good travel protections as well. And it's one of the things that's very similar travel protections to what you get with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, except it's at a pretty significant discount. So we'll talk about that. Now, why would you not want this card? The problem with the Ritz Carlton credit card, despite the fact that it has a lot of the same protections as a Chase Sapphire Reserve, is that the Ritz Carlton credit card only earns Marriott points. And so Marriott points aren't necessarily as valuable, especially since Marriott tends to do a lot of devaluations. And so that kind of valuation can fluctuate a little bit. So if you're looking for a card that has more protections and not necessarily the best spend, then the Ritz Carlton card could be a good fit for you. What do you earn? So now this is just going to be on the credit card spend. So you get 6 points per dollar on Marriott hotel stays. And of course, you also earn other points per dollar as well. So the card immediately comes with gold status and also 15 elite night credits as well. And that gets you about 12.5 points per dollar at most Marriott properties. Now, some of the lower end properties give you less points per dollar. And so, the 6 points per dollar on the spend part can help you a little bit if you are staying at Marriott properties. You also get 3 points per dollar on dining, car rentals, and airline purchases. Now, these are general. There's no portal to speak of. You don't have to worry about logging into a portal and then not getting access to your special privileges of having membership with the loyalty program or something like that. And so it's great that you also do earn a decent amount of Marriott points when it comes to making those travel purchases that you would want to put on this card because of the incredible travel protections. So let's get into the top line as well. So the $450 annual fee is pretty significant, right? But we're going to get into just now how we can negate that a little bit. So the first up, the main benefit of the card, and pretty much the only kind of coupon style thing, is a $300 travel credit. Now, this is billed officially as only going towards travel incidentals, baggage fees, lounge access, things like that. I have heard some people say that you're able to use that credit for other purchases as well. Although I tried to test it, I wasn't really able to because, well, my wife and I ended up going to Europe in March. And so I actually did have a lot of airfare incidentals that I decided to put on the Ritz Carlton card so I could take advantage of those travel protections. And so I had the travel protections through that card. And because I had to go ahead and put the taxes and fees for my upper class seats overseas on there, I was able to actually get that full $300 travel credit back to me. And this can be interesting because it's a weird credit because, first of all, there's no quarterly or monthly requirements, or you don't have to limit yourself to a particular airline, things like that. I'm looking at you, American Express Platinum card. But you have to call in or you can direct message, but I found calling in is pretty easy. And there's actually a number on the back of this card that's really super helpful. And so this number, every single time I've called it, has gone straight directly to a person. There's no phone tree. There's no pressing 9 for Spanish. You pick up the phone, call the number on the back of this card, and you're speaking to someone within minutes. And you just talk to them. You say, hey, I made these purchases on these dates, and I like the travel credit applied. And so they put you on hold for a brief second. They do all the back end stuff, and they tell you that it'll take about 6 to 8 weeks in order to be able to actually show up on the credit. However, in my case, it actually ended up showing up on my account the next business day. And that was really helpful, very simple. There was a little bit of friction about having to call someone, but the people are very easy to get a hold of, and the whole process is pretty simple. I was probably on the phone for about 10 minutes for that particular thing. So all in all, pretty good. You also get a free 85,000 point night award through Marriott after your first card member anniversary. You don't get it immediately when you get that card. However, if you time it right, you will have a free night award with your other card, and we'll get into that later in the video. You can also top this one up to 100,000 if you have 15,000 Marriott points lying around and you have a 100,000 point a night room that you wish to stay at. You can actually use those towards that and combine that free award with any points that you have. And then once again, you also get a gold elite status, and you have the opportunity to earn platinum elite status after spending $75,000 a card in a calendar year. It's not really the best idea because you can actually use the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card with American Express, and that gives you platinum elite status directly. So if you're looking to spend some money on some credit cards, that could necessarily be a better option for you. So let's get into the lounge access. So the lounge access is a big deal with this card, and one of the main reasons why so many people in this space have this card. So first of all, you get Priority Pass Select for all authorized users. Now that's officially on the back end, it's unlimited guests per each authorized user. So if I wanted to bring 5 guests and my wife wanted to bring 5 guests, then officially, at least according to the terms and conditions, that is allowed. Now, of course, the Priority Pass Lounge on property has the option to reject that. So take that with a grain of salt. But in theory, you have more guest access for Priority Pass lounges with this thing. You also include access to Sapphire lounges. And so these are the lounges that Chase has. So the Sapphire Lounge locations are Boston, JFK, LaGuardia. So you have JFK and LaGuardia in New York. You have Philadelphia. You have Phoenix, San Diego, Hong Kong, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. And it's a smaller network. It's a little bit bigger than Capital One's lounge network, but it's certainly not as extensive as American Express's network, although they are working on other locations as well. And there are a lot of different options. You also have Dulles in there as well. Sorry if I didn't mention that as well. So Dulles is also an option. So that particular lounge is actually co-owned with Etihad. And it's a kind of a smaller, but it's still really quite comfortable. At least I haven't been there yet, but it looks really great on pictures. So you can use this card to give lounge access to all your friends and family, anyone that you trust. You don't actually have to give them the physical card because the card actually arrives to your house instead of theirs. But you can also give them the Priority Pass cards. And so if you want to use this card to give out Priority Pass to family members, extended family members, you can do that as well. That is an option with this card. Now let's get into the travel protections. So the big one for me, at least for me, that I've been able to use so far is Auto Rental CDW. This stands for Collision Damage Waiver. So basically what this is, when you rent a car, you decline the collision damage waiver, and that's usually like $15, $20 a day with the rental car company, and then you pay for it on this card. And this is primary. Basically what that means is if there is any accidental damage to the vehicle that you're renting, it will hit the Carlton card first, then your insurance for anything above that. And secondary means that it hits your insurance first and then goes into the coverage, but because this is primary, it goes into this one first. And so if something were to happen with the rental car, you don't have to let your insurance company know about it and hit a claim with them. And so that can be super helpful. This includes up to $75,000 in theft or collision damage for most rental vehicles in the United States and abroad. So that's important as well. Coverage includes card member and all additional drivers that are listed on the rental. Essentially, you have to make sure that if someone's driving and they damage the car, it's covered as long as they're listed as an additional driver on the actual rental, and they will be covered by the CDW on the Ritz Carlton credit card. Now, there's also baggage delay insurance that reimburses up to $100 a day for up to 5 days for delays more than 6 hours. So this covers the card member and family member as well. There's also lost luggage, up to $3,000 per covered traveler. Travel and emergency assistance. This provides legal and medical referrals and access. Now for that one, you actually do need to pay up a little bit, but the next one is pretty good too. There's trip cancellation and interruption. And so that is $10,000 per traveler or up to $20,000 per trip for non-refundable expenses. Now there are a couple of covered reasons. It can't just be because you decided you didn't want to fly that day, but it is pretty easygoing as far as those protections go. Now let's get into trip delay reimbursement. So that's up to $500 if you're delayed more than 6 hours. And having that on your ticket can be super helpful. This can help go towards paying for more food, for hotel stays, things like that. There's also return protection. So within the 90 days of your purchase of any good that you put on the card, you can actually get return protection where if the merchant won't take it back, you can return it to Ritz Carlton or Chase, and then they will give you up to $500 per item with a limit of $1,000 per year. Then there's emergency evacuation and transport. So this is actually cool because if you are traveling somewhere that's more than 100 miles from your home, you can actually get up to $100,000 in emergency evacuation or transport costs covered through this card if you put your travel expenses on the card. And so that's really helpful as well. And that's one of the main reasons people buy travel insurance is for this emergency evacuation feature that's going to be present on this card. Roadside assistance. So I did a separate video about that. Please go ahead and click the link up above. But up to 4 events, up to $50 per each call. You can be charged at the time of calling for a trip above that amount. But you have to really want to push that in order to go past that. I wouldn't really worry about that, for example. All right, so we decided that the Ritz Carlton card is the right card for us because of all these incredible lounge access and all these incredible protections. So how do we get it? So first of all, we need to obtain a Chase Marriott Bonvoy card. And so there's 3 possible options. We need the Bonvoy Bold, the Bonvoy Boundless, or the Bonvoy Bountiful. So you need to hold that card for a year, then call or message in for a product change. So a lot of those cards are pretty decent. So the one that seems to have the best targeted are going to be the Bonvoy Boundless card, though. And that's what I got. So I got the Bonvoy Boundless, say that 5 times fast, with a 5 free night award offer. And that really worked out really well for me. However, currently, the Bold has an offer. The Bold is the $0 annual fee one that currently has an offer of 30,000 points after $1,000 in spend over 3 months. The Boundless currently has a $95 annual fee. And the current offer is 3 free nights plus 50,000 points. In order to earn the 3 free nights, it's 30,000 in 3 months. And there's a separate spend requirement for the 50,000 points. Now the Bountiful, this one has a $250 annual fee. That current offer is 85,000 points after 4,000 spend in 3 months. So you can tell that currently the Boundless also still has the best offer. So if you're looking for a way to do it, and you don't currently have a Chase Marriott card, I probably go with the Boundless. Now, you need to be able to hold this card for a year. Then you got to wait for the annual fee to post for the second year on this card. And then you can actually call in Chase. And basically the only 2 requirements are that you have the card for 1 year and that you have at least a $10,000 credit limit on that card because it's a Visa Infinite card. So if you do have other Chase cards and you don't quite have a $10,000 credit limit, you can actually change over those credit limits to that other card, things like that. It's really helpful, really easy to use. And so that's actually what I did. I had to transfer $1,000 over from my Amazon Prime Visa card. And so I was able to do that pretty easily, and I was able to get everything wrapped up. But anyway, that's the Ritz Carlton credit card. I have been getting a lot of value out of it, and I think you will too. But yeah, definitely go ahead and drop a comment below to tell me everything that you hope to get out of the Ritz Carlton credit card and what your plan is. I'd love to hear about it. If you want to help me out, I will have a link below for you to click on for the Chase Boundless offer. That'll help me continue to make wonderful videos, to continue to have these awesome experiences that I can share with you guys on the channel. But once again, thanks so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you guys again next time.